My name is Aji, and ever since Creative was added to Fortnite, it has been one of the most popular modes in the game, with allowing people to play fun casual games like death runs and hide and seek, or more competitive games like zone wars, death matches and turtle wars. However, particularly since the start of Chapter 2, we've seen many players abandoning pubs altogether, with many instead choosing to play box fights in Creative. In fact, it seems like almost everyone has played it this season. And if you take a look at Twitch, it's common to see some of the best players in the world playing box fights, like Tfue, Clix and Mongraal. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at why people are playing this new creative game, and whether you should be playing it. So what exactly is box fights? Well, box fights is a 1v1 or 2v2 game, where players spawn inside an enclosed area and are given set loot to start with, usually a shotgun, an assault rifle and heals, as well as 500 materials. From there, to win each round, you have to kill the opposing team or player. And because you're in an enclosed space, usually no higher than 2 tiles, it means that most of the action will take place inside of boxes, with edit players and shotgun aim being an integral part of this game. Because of this, playing box fights is a really good way of improving your edit skill, as making quick edits is a key part of being successful at box fights, and doing them repeatedly helps to build that muscle memory. It's also an excellent way to develop your aim, particularly your shotgun aim, as that is what you're most likely going to be using when you make quick edits, due to the high burst damage. Box fights doesn't help you practice your high ground retakes like traditional 1v1s would, or help to improve your tunneling like zone wars would, but it can still be a very useful way to improve your building skills, as you still have to build to protect yourself and block your opponent's shots. But unlike in other game modes, your aim when building won't be about claiming the high ground. Box fighting is a really good way at improving your defensive play, as you will find yourself turtling a lot and having to deal with your opponent trying to break into your box. Also, with you being given a set amount of materials, you learn how to be smart with your materials, as you can't just spam build constantly, like you can in 1v1s or turtle wars. But I think one of the key reasons that box fights has become so popular is due to how applicable it is to in-game situations. In the core Battle Royale game, build battles where people build up high into the sky, desperately trying to claim high ground, is slowly starting to fade away. Instead, box fighting is now the meta, due to it using fewer materials, and not being as susceptible to third partying, compared to massive build-offs, where you would almost certainly get knocked down. Box fighting can especially be helpful if you play arena or tournaments, as you'll often find yourself camping inside a box, surrounded by other players. But it's also applicable to pubs. I'm sure you will have encountered it yourself, where you take some shots at a player, hit them for a fair bit of damage, and then they suddenly start turtling up so that they can heal. Everyone has gotten so good at defensive play that this was always likely to happen, so developing your box fighting skills has never been more necessary. Playing box fights is definitely one of the best ways to replicate in-game situations, due to players having a limited amount of materials and ammo, like you would in an actual game. However, my biggest criticism of this creative game is the loadout players are given, as in most box fights maps that you see people playing, players won't have any explosives or traps, both of which are very common in an actual game. So practicing box fights will not typically help you to deal with these defensively, or use them offensively. This is a big issue, especially when it comes to traps, as these are so influential in actual games, due to them being so strong. So with traps not typically being a part of creative box fights, it's common to see people playing hyper aggressive and jumping into players' boxes, as they know that they won't be able to be trapped. But if you did that in an actual game, you would almost certainly be punished. Because of this, when creating my own box fight map, I gave each player 1 trap each round. This means that players have to play sensibly, and with there only being 1 trap, it means that players can't just spam traps at someone. They have to be smart if they want to use it effectively. But I think the most underrated aspects of box fights is that it's actually really fun, particularly if you're facing someone around your own skill level. It can be super competitive, and the fact that you don't need to spend any time looting, with you starting with weapons, shield and materials, It can be a welcome departure from playing the Battle Royale, where you can spend the first 10 minutes of each game looting up and then dying the first time you see someone, which I'm sure we've all experienced. So we've established how worthwhile it can be to play box fights, but should you be playing that or traditional 1v1s, which had been the king of creative for a long time? Well, if you're looking to improve as a player as much as you can whilst having fun, I definitely recommend box fighting over 1v1s. And the big reason for that is that traditional 1v1s take place in such an artificial environment that can rarely be replicated in an actual game, due to the fact that there are unlimited materials, no fall damage, and you don't have to worry about third partying. So while 1v1s are certainly useful to improve your mechanical skill, there are certainly more useful ways to improve at the game. If you go to build battle someone in game, you put yourself at risk of getting shot down and wasting your materials. Learning fancy high ground retakes may look cool, but there's not much point in spending hours and hours learning them, when they most likely will never be used. It's good to have some up your sleeve, as it will stop you from being a predictable player, and give you more options, but it's far from the be all and end all, like people thought a few months back. So if you're looking to improve as a player, I definitely suggest box fights over 1v1s. But if you simply enjoy doing 1v1s a lot more, then you should continue doing that. A lot of the best players out there improved as players by doing the same. And at the end of the day, Fortnite is just a game. It's all about having fun. So if you have more fun doing 1v1s, then I'd never tell you that you're wasting your time, as having fun is exactly what gaming is all about. So, have you played much box fights? And would you say it's more useful than doing 1v1s? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to support me as a content creator, then feel free to use my creator code, which is on the screen now. So anytime you buy something in the item shop and use my code, it'll go directly towards supporting the channel, which would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.